This is so weird. Just thinking how the world has become what it is. Look at the past, you wonder, like, why do we come to this point of existence where we just look for this one little thing? And the thing is, we really don't know what it is. It's probably just a little ounce of happiness. Because what else do we need in this life? This life we didn't choose, but this life we were given. A whole entire existence that doesn't even make sense to us. So we look beyond this world to make an explanation, but that is not where this matters. Even if you're right and there is some powerful being that controls everything, he knows what you can do, and he would want you to do the correct thing with this world. So why do we not do the correct thing with this world? Why do we let it go? Why do we focus on these little things in front of us without ever caring about the world around us? Why do we set on paths to make a better future for our kin when that better future is not a better future if the world isn't better? So you must look inside of yourself to see that this is complete deception of what we are, of who we are. So if you think in this way that that is all right, then why? Why do you think that way? How do you justify that even if you believe you are saved? How can you save yourself from yourself when you know that blatant lie is a hypocritical thing that you will never be able to turn back from? So, again, I ask you, why? Why? We need to question this, truly. If we never question it, there's never going to be change in this world. How can there be change when we don't want to question what is before us? And when we accept it for what it is, then we don't really make change. We kill our own hearts just so that we can have some peace of mind. And isn't that not the way to live life? When life is your own and you will die someday, then why would you just stand idly by, accept it as it is, and just go with that? That is not compassion, that is not love, that is not kindness, that is stupidity, that is ignorance, that is everything that is wrong with this world. And so we ignore that and we blame other people that are taking action in this world for our own shortcomings. What is wrong with all of us? Is humanity really so hopeless that we do stuff like that? I never believed that. When I was growing up, I truly believed humanity had great intentions. And yeah, intentions can be the road to hell. That's true. And maybe it's true that this is a road to hell that we'll go down now. But it doesn't have to be. We can change this around. We don't have to just keep closed minded to the true issues of this world. We should literally take a second and look at the things around us. It's hard, I know, because a lot of us are working so hard day and night just to make a life. And that's another way that we completely trick ourselves. We blind ourselves with little tasks. But these little tasks at one point completely ruin all your time and makes you have nothing to do. And you never get more ahead. You just fall further behind. Every year you try to keep up, but it's really hard. And that really is interesting. It's really interesting how we completely blind ourselves from the things around us. We look at the media, the news, sports, and whatnot as they are so great, but then we turn away from life itself. We close our minds to these little shells of existence that don't even count as existence. That is not life. That is blindness. That is ignorance. That is running away from everything that is true in this world. That is hiding because you're afraid, that someone will see you for who you are, and when someone sees you for that, you don't think you can stand up because you are weak in your heart, you are weak in your mind, you are weak in every single form of weakness, and trust me, it took me a long time to realize that is what that truly is, weakness. Weakness because all you care about is setting a good example of following the rules. No, we don't need to follow the rules. We need a complete change of the system. We need a revolution. We need existence to be the prime focus of who we are, what we are. We don't need a better economy. We don't need a better world. We don't need a better country. We don't need a better government. We just need better people. That is the core of everything. We need better people. We need to create a generation of better people. But no, we keep creating a generation worse than the last one. And completely this goes on. And slowly we decay the human intelligence so far that we barely are even here. Yeah, there are people going to college. There are people with degrees. There are smart people in this world. But the truth is, most of them are quite dumb because all they know is to follow a system that never worked. They just follow it blindly because that is all they've ever known. That was all they were ever taught. We need to do different. We need to teach differently. We need a whole entire change of the human race. It doesn't restrict to the US. It doesn't restrict to anywhere in the world. It's the whole world. We need to change. We need to come together. We need to work together. But we don't need to completely alienate ourselves from each other to make peace between each other. You cannot agree with someone and still be friends. So why do we force people to agree on stuff, accept others, when in truth, that doesn't matter? Like, a lot of times we don't accept other people, but we will work with them for a common goal. And that is humanity's nature, that we don't always see eye to eye, but we find a common ground to work on, and that is where we excel. But as a lot of things change in this world, as elections go on for this year, we see so many people rioting. Why do they riot? Like, if the president doesn't turn out well, we can impeach him. Alright, problem solved. The apocalypse is averted, apparently, because that's what everyone is afraid of. And worst case scenario, nothing changes. And that's usually how the president is. Nothing changes. So we need to look away from that. Stop letting it completely gobble up our free time and keep us from looking at the real matters that actually matter. And like problems like pro-life or pro-choice, that is completely retarded because what is wrong with you? Like, it's mother's choice. You don't have a say in that. You're an idiot if you think you do. And that isn't me just saying what I believe. No, that is the actual truth. That you can't decide what's right for everyone else. Because would you do the same? Could you do the same? No, you really couldn't. Because the problem is you don't understand the point of view some people have on certain things, and when it comes down to it, you have no control over other people. You need to understand that. You need to back off. You need to completely figure out you have no control over other people. And that is the problem with the government, that we seem to think it should have control over people, and to a degree, yes, it does, but not really. Because the only reason the government is supposed to be there is to facilitate better interactions between humans so that society can function correctly. It hasn't been doing that for quite a while. Like, it does it for the most part, but on the side panel of where actual truth is, it's not doing its job. It's completely turned into a bloodbath, a political feud. It's no different than what happened between, like, England, between the, oh my god, I can't even remember. The Christian groups, whatever they are, because it doesn't really matter what groups they are. Like, always switching between that, causing changes in the government. Oh my god, it doesn't change a single thing. But if it makes you feel better, I guess we can do that. And that's kind of what the whole entire world has become. We just do stuff to make people feel better, but it doesn't even do anything. And truth be told, if we took the time, and as a human race, or just even for the US itself, if the citizens came together and actually thought about issues that matter, that cause change to the world, then sure, we'd be fine. There wouldn't be a problem here. There wouldn't be a problem anywhere. But the difference in that is that most people don't have a choice to do that. Like some countries, good luck doing that. You don't have that much control over your government. And that's why the United States was supposed to be a great idea at first. Because the whole idea of, okay, put the power in the citizens, they'll do the right thing, right? No. They get lazy. They get completely railed by the government and society and economy and everything to follow a certain set of rules just to have a happy life. And in truth, it may be happy, but it isn't a life that's worth living in the end, if you truly think about it. Because if all we do is regurgitate what they tell us, then it's not really life. It's kind of moronic, whatever. It's moronic. It's stupid. It's like a complete waste of your time to be just doing what you're told. Because in life, you need to make a choice. You need to find out what's worth fighting for and what's not worth fighting for. And a lot of times we choose not the really great things to fight for, and then everything blows up. And we're there like, oh my god, we have to blame something else. It can't be our fault. It can't be our fault. We want to be reassured that it's not our fault of what's going on in the world. But the truth is, it is our fault. Every single thing you see in the world, it is our fault. Every single human is responsible for every single thing that has ever went wrong in humanity. Because we don't mess with the system. We don't even try. But if we took the time to actually question the system, to actually ask the questions worth asking, then maybe, just maybe, we could make some lasting change in the world. But it doesn't have to be change that is pessimistic. It doesn't have to be change that's realistic. Because humanity, for all it has ever been, has never been realistic. We're very an idealistic creature, to be quite honest. We live in most part of our dreams. Because these dreams are what we chase for, because we want that happiness. We want something good to live for, so we fight for that. We make it our sole purpose to carry out those dreams, to make a life that we're proud of. And yes, we can still do that, but we need to change the world, because the world is on a collision course with itself. At a point, these lives, these dreams that we want for the future to have will come burning down. And that is the one thing that we need to avoid, if at all possible. But the problem is, we're not going to avoid it as long as we stay on this trajectory. And the only way you can change the trajectory is by moving, or saying another force. So, what force? Humanity has always used hate, pain, and stuff like that to drive them to do stuff. What if we actually start a different movement? And no, I'm not talking like a movement like LGBT, because that is a movement that, sure, it's a fine movement, it's a great thing. Having people accept other people, great for you. But the thing is, that turned less into acceptance and more into you're doing this. You don't have a choice. Like, if you don't like them, that's too bad. You're a terrible person for that. No, that is not even a movement. That is completely a social thing just to humiliate people that think they're strong in this world, that abuse the weak. And in truth, yeah, it's kind of weird for both sides, to be honest. Like, one side's wanting acceptance. Oh my god, do you need acceptance? Just go do what you want to do. Like, clearly, the world's not going to hurt you for a 10. If they do, there is such a thing, at least in the US and a few other good countries, called police. And if someone hurts you for just feeling different than they feel, well, there is such thing as a jail and such a thing as restraining orders and etc. So you don't have to live in fear of that. Now, it was great that we had, like, it was definitely needed to do this for the advent of, like, marriage license and stuff like that, because that was retarded that you couldn't do what you want because some stuck up people just didn't want to change. That is perfectly fine to start a movement to change, but when you start trying to tell people how to think and how to act, that's a problem. But professionals have to understand that there are many sides to everything. And when you're a professional, you accept everyone, not regardless of how weird, how crazy, how eccentric they are. You accept them. It's not because of any reason like you truly accept them as like in your heart. No, it's not that. It's more you have a job. You do your job. If you don't do your job, well, too bad. We'll get someone that can do your job because you did such a terrible job at it. And that just keeps going in that direction. So we should learn from that. We really should. That a real movement would be more like creating change, sizable change in the world. Like, it doesn't have to be huge, it can be small, it can be really small. But as long as you make that change in the world, that is what matters. And when it becomes a publicized thing, it's not really changed at that point. Because you saw what happened to the whole hippie movement. The moment it got publicized, it got completely twisted into something completely different from what the people that started it wanted. So if we look at that, a movement would have to, in many ways, be as simple and small as one person doing a kind act for another person. And hopefully domino effect goes through, and before you know it, that kindness creates another kindness, and etc. And that is kind of what a movement should be, instead of it being a publicized thing. But the problem is, with media, you can't do anything without it being publicized. So in that whole entire scenario, it's because is it technology that keeps us from advancing as a human race? Like, did we lose part of our evolutionary nature due to adaptation? Like, are we creatures of adaptation over evolution? And that doesn't mean just evolution and like body, like your body. That can even mean evolution in your mind. Like, how does the mind change if all have to do is look stuff up? Yeah, it's not really that hard to change, like progress on your mind, because you just work with the things that are already there. So under that whole entire belief, well, it's not a belief; it's actually true. How could there be any way to fix this? And in truth, there is no exact way to fix this. There's never going to be a one way to solve everything. Whoa! I can't go that far. Like, there is one way, but it's not worth it. And that one way would probably be just nuke everything. Just give up. That would work, but we're humans. We're not going to do that. Hopefully not. Hopefully that never happens. because that'd be the most terrible thing we could ever do. But the whole sense of that is we need to look at ourselves for the change that we want. We can't expect the world to change, so we must change ourselves. And when you change yourself from being who you always have been and trying to be a better person, that is where true change comes from. And we need to all strive to be better people, extremely better people. So I hope this, if anyone listens to this, actually mattered. Because it'd be great if some people took something from this, if some people stopped living in these illusions that we have created of our own will and start actually trying to do stuff with this world, trying to prove that humanity is not giving up. Humanity's greatest thing is in our perseverance. We never give up. No matter how bleak the circumstances, we never give up. That is humanity. That is your heritage. That is everything we are. And that is everything we should be. So learn from that and truly learn from that.